Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by myself and Attack Power.
Hello guys, glad to be back.
In this video we have for you game 1 of a best of 3 between Protoss and Onord in the final of the July monthly tournament. Today they're going to be playing on Slutsk, and on our left in the red we have Protoss playing with Task Force 45 and the Maverick deployment type. And on our right in the blue team, we have Onord, who's going to be using the 2nd Infantry and the Maverick deployment type. So two very strong divisions. What do you think about this, Attack Power?
Yeah, it's actually shocking that neither of these divisions got banned. These are two of the top tier divisions in the game. I mean, pretty agreed upon. They're not like above and beyond better than everything else, but like definitely challenging to play against and very nice to play with. So the fact that both of these divisions like got left, I mean, it's Slutsk, so I kind of get the concept. They're not the strongest on these maps. You know, you usually think heavier armored divisions for these Slutsk maps because of the open space down south here and stuff. But I mean, specifically Task Force 45 definitely has some long range tools. So I would have considered banning that. I mean, 2nd Indianhead has the really good AT guns as well. So I guess it's not shocking that these weren't banned, but it's also a little surprising that neither of them were.
Yeah, especially, like you say, it's their kind of high-tier divisions. Yeah, Task Force 45 are on the left here. Let's have a quick look at what's going down. Protoss with the Cavalry Scouts, the M8, and the Converted Gunners, of course. Those are one of the mainstays of why this division's so good, because they have them in such abundance. And then the M4A1...
They did get nerfed pretty hard, though. They're kind of back down to normal numbers of these.
Then there's T70 and the Ammo Pioneers, and he's got also a 90mm there at the start as well, the AA.
Those are really, really strong.
Further down we have the 50 cal, the Ammo Pioneers, Converted Gunners, and 2 M10s for, I guess, the open range engagement on the bottom side. Anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, I probably would have put the 90mm down south for the open, but I also understand the concept that he actually wants the AA to cover the main fighting area, which would be up north most likely.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like, it's a challenge to decide, because obviously down south it'd be really useful to cover off that entire open area. But you want your AA to actually be where planes are going to go, which would be up north. So
yeah, also,
I understand.
Since it is pretty powerful as like an AT, you can kind of put it maybe with line of sight down that center road in the town.
I assume that's what he's going to do. I'm assuming it's going to be like right at the opening of that first little bunch of buildings there, like way deep, because that's a really slow transfer. It's going to take a while.
Well, we're underway. Let's have a quick look at what Onord's got going. He's got some Ranger Marauders, the 50 cal, an M8. He's got the M3 howitzers. That's going to probably go up on the hill. With the M1, there's some Rangers in there, rifles early. Some more rifles early with the half tracks. M5 gun, a Bofors as well for the top side. Some more rifles earlies further down. We've got the 50 cal, 2 M8s rifles, and the T30 HMC at the bottom. But Protoss coming out with a Havoc early on to get some recon information there.
Yeah, one thing I do find odd, he's double vetted the Bofors, which means he only gets 1, right? Or is it 2? No, it's 1. In Phase A, if you double vet the Bofors, you only get 1.
Yeah, you only get 1. So, I mean, maybe he just thinks that it's useful because it can probably shoot down like a lighter aircraft on its own. Like the two-star AA like 37mm cannot quite often do that.
Strong, yeah. The T70 transport sniped in the town already. Took out one of those rifles early. So nice little pick there.
We got M8 versus M8 action on the top side. Onord's going to fire first. Both of them hitting each other. Onord going to commit for the second shot. Can he make it land? Oh, they both fired. It's a trade.
Nice. P-38 trying to take down the Havoc. Havoc's got medium resilience, so it can definitely survive a pass. I think Protoss is just trying to get into a position that the P-38 can't swing back around on it.
Yeah, the P-38 is going to be a little bit too fast to take care of the Havoc, but in the meantime, the Onord's getting some good shots onto the 90mm already with the M3 howitzer, with the M5 gun. Chipped that down, forced him to fall it back already.
Oh, that's bad. If he loses that, that's a huge loss.
Yeah, that's a lot of points invested.
And he only gets so many of these. Like, this is Protoss's main long range, like 2,000 meter support. And he's already forced onto the edge. The rifle's early on the edge of this forest, just crushing his converted gunners.
Yeah, with the disheartened trait, is he going to be taking more suppression? than a usual squad, and therefore the rifles with the heavy cover to no cover engagement definitely going to be forcing the converted gunners off the hill very quickly indeed. I'm not really sure what he's going to be able to do about this except bring up this M4 and then maybe make another push with that, but then Onord's going to be waiting there with the Ranger Marauders as well.
Wow, I can't believe the P-38 couldn't take out that 90 mil. It might go down to all the 50 cals, honestly.
Yeah, it is not very resilient. Did that get a cheeky shot onto the C202 there as well? But yeah, the 90 mil's lucky to be alive right now.
Very. T-70 taking some pot shots on the hill there at that AT gun. That's not going to turn out well.
Yeah, Onord has actually turned off the APCR to make sure that he can potentially pick that off, because the T-70s, they can get one shot by those AT guns, and they don't actually have much health.
Now this M4A1 right on the edge of the hill definitely has a chance of helping out, but this Ranger Marauder may crush that dream very quickly. Yeah,
it's definitely in the right position right now, but the M Pioneers potentially could spot it. I think maybe they did, and that's why the M4A1 on the side of Protoss did get backed off there. But the converter gunners, if Onord's not in the right position, i.e. in the heavy cover here, these converted gunners can actually trade relatively well with the fire support from the 90 mil.
Yep, and we see mortar fire already coming in. Protoss is a big lover of artillery, just in general. Any sort of artillery, mortar, light, heavy. You see him using it constantly. He's very good with it. So we'll see if this can help swing this in his favor. It's definitely dangerous with the radio on it.
Yeah, that 81mm mortar, since it does have radio, particularly over the N3 howitzer and the M5 gun, and even the Bofors can really start to do a lot of damage. You can see he's queued the orders to RT the AA and then RT the M5 gun. Just wants to get rid of that presence from the hill, and has even brought in a second one to help out with that.
Yeah, and we did note if he takes out this Bofors, which it's unlikely he will with only one salvo, but if he does, there's no AA until B phase. That'd be pretty huge.
Yeah, so his Havoc's going to be seeing that that's probably falling back right now. P-38 obviously going to be trying to stop that information coming through, but a little bit too late. The 81mm mortar's going to be firing away towards the M5 gun. They're going to be missing, though. Slightly off target. I guess the one thing that's a little bit detrimental sometimes about radio is it can make you too accurate, and then you kind of miss the target if your opponent moves an inch to the left.
I actually do feel that way when I'm using heavier artillery and kind of blind firing at stuff. I'm like, I actually almost wish this was a bigger spread, so I have a chance of luckily hitting something.
Yeah, sometimes I think it'd be interesting if you could choose to use radio or not, but
that'd be nice.
That'd be a bit complicated.
Oh, it would be nice. It's more micro, but it would be nice.
Yeah.
Actually, this what's the T-70's taking more pot shots at this M7 gun, but now it's actually getting some radio. Now another mortar's in. Like I said, Protoss is a lover of his artillery. The M5 gun does go down though. The effect's already being felt.
Yeah, the T-70 was taking advantage of the fact that the M5 gun was falling back in order to get more damage onto it whilst the mortar fire was coming down. So that was really well played there by Protoss just to clean that off the ridge, but no doubt Onord will try and replace that at some point. Onord actually has a second Bofors on the way, and it hasn't reached Phase B, so he must have two cards of AA in Phase A. 1 2-star Bofors for the start that you're obviously likely using, and then the second card of 1-star Bofors, which he'll have 2 on a card.
Yeah. I guess second infantry has plenty of AA. Now, if we look down south really quick, Onord has built himself a little fortress on this hill and has grabbed that flag in the middle down there, making it 1311.
Yep, the M5 gun set up with the M3 howitzer. It's definitely going to make it difficult for any tanks at long range to really do anything, because the APCR does have that 2,000 meter range there. With the 185mm penetration. Pretty nasty, honestly. P-38, coming in perfect timing here. Likely shoot down the Havoc. Yeah.
Unless, nope, yeah, it goes down.
And the 90mm not really able to respond. Those big artillery, these big AA pieces, they're good at forcing stuff to fall back, but they're not really that lethal very often.
Yeah, they don't kill much of anything. Unless you get really unlucky, which I do from time to time, and an 88 actually hits your plane and it instantly.
It does look really cool though when it happens.
Yes.
Like the 88 shell just smashes it out of the sky.
Yeah. It looks so cool if you're on the winning side. If you're not, it's really disappointing. This M4A1 is finally up on this hill, and the support is extremely important. That's why Protoss is actually making some progress up there. T-70 taking shots at that howitzer on the hill. It is safe from its heat shell at this range, but it has crawling forward to reach it. Protoss knows that and backs it up immediately.
Yeah, Protoss doing a really good job of utilizing this T-70 right now to chip those support weapons on the hill. The T-70 being unique, of course, to Task Force 45 with its recon capability. It's very nice indeed. Now Onord has his own M21 though. Nice mortar carrier there to respond, and he's going to try and finish off that 90mm by the looks of things.
Yeah, and this combination of weapons is what makes these American divisions just a bit better than a lot of the others right now. You have just really strong infantry, all with M1 Garands, which are semi-automatic rifles that are really strong. You have a solid automatic rifle in the BAR, and then you just get tons of strong support weapons with both 40mm Bofors, these radio half-tracks, big artillery, the long toms, Shermans doing what Shermans do kind of thing. You get these Ranger half-tracks, M8s. It's just so many above-curve units that
yeah, your
really
M10s and M5 guns have that 2,000 meter range APCR as well, which is like super strong. Rifles early, looking for the push on the bottom side here.
And the 90mm did go down. A P-51 comes in to try to take out this P-38, and the push in the center is happening. This could be really bad too, because Protoss is going to have a really hard time getting back in there, especially with that howitzer and the M5 gun. Now they're pushing up. So it looks like Onord wants to take more territory from him.
On the bottom side, Onord, with the rifles early, tried to push in here. Did kill off the ammo and pioneers that were there, but the converted gun is going to be able to finish off that rifle unit in the open quite nicely. Although the M3 gun, okay. The rifle early just getting surrendered there in time, because the M3 howitzer probably could have made a big difference.
Yeah, up north, P-38 bomber takes out that T-70 recon we were talking about. A little dogfight is ensuing, but both of these planes have really poor turning radius, so neither of them can get on top of each other.
Also, neither of them really like AA. They're both very bad resilience, or bad resilience technically.
Bad, yeah.
But
they feel very bad though. I don't know why it feels like they die faster.
They're like
than
paper, and especially with like two Bofors here, that P-51 cannot stay in the sky on the side of Protoss.
No. Ranger Marauders sneaking forward down south along again with his support weapons. It's unless that mortar can pick up some really good hits, Protoss is going to really struggle to get back into this open area.
Yeah, so since it's Maverick versus Maverick, these tickets that Onord is picking up early on is actually quite useful for like the long-term engagements throughout the game. It's definitely going to keep him ahead of Protoss throughout and gives him a little bit more leeway, I guess. No. But the M1 gun there with the nice kill onto the M4 in the open on the top.
Yeah, and now this Sherman's is right on the edge of the range of the bazooka if he decides to throw that Ranger Marauder forward, which it looks like he may.
Protoss trying to bomb the bottom side with the B-25, but not successful. The Bofors did manage to hold him off, and P-38 just getting forced off in the meantime.
I was lucky it got forced off, because that would have been a big loss for him.
Yeah, it was almost out of range of the 50 cal. I think it was like one little 50 cal shot from the M10 or something that really helped force that back. Obviously, there's the M15 CGMC up on the hill there as well.
Well, yeah, you think the 50 cals don't feel like they do something, but in these American divisions, so many things just happen to have a 50 cal on them that it ends up being a crap ton of 50 cals, and it actually does add some real suppression.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was like doctrine in real life, right? Where they put 50 cals on everything to help with like AA suppression.
It obviously works.
Yeah, 81 mil. Probably going to be finishing off this M1 gun. There is radio on that, so I wouldn't be surprised to see one of those mortar shells land on target and kill that off. I say that. And it's going to go everywhere except where the M1 gun is. This is what happens when I play the game. There's always that AT gun just doesn't want to die. Attack power.
I know the experience.
Let's not talk about that Rashid Shah, shall we?
It's the same. It's the same as when someone Sherman's magically pen everything. It's incredible.
Touché. Nice mortar fire coming down there, finishing off some rifles early. All the M3 howitzer, they're getting some heat rounds towards the second T-70 that Protoss has. I believe you can only get a maximum of 2 of those, can't you? So if that hits, the T-70 is just straight up dead, and then no more use of those. And they are a really nice tool to have because they can jump in and out of cover very, very quickly indeed. But, oh, the shot on the move, though. Just styling.
That machine gun off. Yeah, it's nice.
Absolutely styling. Hellcat actually coming in for Onord on the bottom side. Of course, the 2nd Infantry does have the M18 Hellcat as well, which is a very nice, again, fast in and out. Basically exactly the same as T-70, just without recon capability. Also does have the APCR, of course.
Up north, if only Protoss knew, if only he had the God vision to know how thin Onord actually is. There's 2 infantry units, essentially, and an M8. In terms of, like, now Rhino's rolling up, but there ain't much there. There is not much there.
But the placement of Onord's AA is actually really smart. Right? He's got it facing down both of those roads, so that if the infantry does push forwards, his bofers can potentially fire on it. So it kind of restricts the movement of Protoss's units on that top side. Mortars on the bottom side going to be trying to deal with the M3 and M5 gun, but I can't help but feel like if Protoss should be maybe consolidating his mortars a little bit more and doing like 2 together and attacking each individual support weapon at the same time, because otherwise what ends up happening is the spread is like just a little bit too much for it to not really be effective.
Now, on the other hand, he did bring a 203mm artillery piece now to try to solve that exact issue.
Coming in there, see if that could land.
That Hellcat can see the mortar. Oh no, loader wounded. Oh, move it, move it. Oh no.
Oh, it got forced to fall back. It missed. Oh, the last shot. Oh, it's not going to fire. Okay, I know it's like rushing forwards now, but the HE fired. Is he going to get the APCR shot off? Oh, he gets it. He does. Nice.
And Protoss loses a bomber in the process. Oh no, that's disastrous. That was
and the
not
P-51
good.
Gone down as well there.
That was a disastrous line of events just now for him.
Yeah, all at once. Everything just kind of fell apart there. That was like 300 points just down the drain.
Yeah. Oh, that was hard to watch.
Especially in a situation again where your income is equal. Like trading like that is just really bad. Even the M8 there going down to the M18 Hellcat as well. The Ranger LMGs finding the MO Pioneers as well, putting a lot of pressure on that. So on this bottom side, looks like Onord's really got it locked down for now. 203's got a lot of work to do, but has lost its radio over the M5 gun, the M3, and the bofers on the hill there. So it's now taking ages to aim towards the M3 and the M10.
P-38 up north drops a big bomb, wipes out the engineer leader, takes all the veterancy away from those converted gunners, and now there's a huge force of troops here for Onord, and these fighters cannot get through this wall of 40 mils.
Yeah, this Rhino going to be causing issues for the other M4 here. Having that extra 30 armor makes a big difference in these close-range M4 engagements.
Oh, yeah. It's not even close.
M4 doesn't even take a shot. It just kills it off.
And down south, Onord picked up another flag on the edge of that hill, making it a 15-9, and a double tick has happened.
Yeah, so he's got the rifle there, and he's hiding it in that little cubby hole where the road dips between the hill. It's quite a nice place to put units. It's actually a really nice place to put like bazookas and stuff, because vehicles that come down the road will often just bump into it at the perfect range.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's very common to see it, because you can't see them until you drive up over the lip, and then you're within that range of that bazooka or whatever, and you're instantly dead.
Yeah, a lot of death on the top side for Protoss's men. Loses one unit of engineers, the MN Pioneers going up against the Ranger LMG. Surprised they didn't get killed on the last volley, but converted gunners doing a runner in the open. Something that converted gunners do quite often. And then the 81mm mortar trying to kind of get some suppression on this infantry to kind of curb Onord's push, but it's now 15 to 9 now for Onord. That is a double tick. Back to 14 to 10 briefly as I say that.
As you say it.
But yeah, I mean, he's still getting ahead on tickets quite nicely.
This Mitchell up north good chance it'll go down to this double 40 mil. It didn't drop its bombs, and it's gonna die.
Yeah, it's one trouble with bringing in bombers on their own.
Oh,
Often they're not really that resilient. But yeah, Mitchell's pretty nice bomber, honestly.
Oh, it is. It's a great bomber, and this is where you can really see on display the strength of vetting up your AA. It can feel a little redundant at times because you like want a lot of pieces, and if the opponent starts artillerying them, then you're like, wow, I wish I had more AA. But the difference is notable.
A little bit of a misplay there by Onord side, arting his own rangers in the forest on the top side. But the double Rhino in the town going to be putting a lot of pressure onto the Ammo Pioneers there, and the Converted Gunners making some ground there now as well. And on the bottom side, he's brought in these like 3 Ranger T-30 HMCs with the M10. He's got an M3 howitzer to back him up and another M18. So really going to be trying to make a strong push up onto this hill by the looks of things.
These Ranger HMCs are really, really good. I don't know why, they're fabulous. They're cheap, they have a long range, and they do a nice 2.2 damage on their HE.
Yeah, I think they're good as like infantry fire support. I've never really been a massive fan of them. They're like one of the units I really just didn't like in like Steel Division Normally 44. And I think in this game, like, they're probably good value for money in 1v1, but I've never ever seen them in team games.
Oh no, I wouldn't think. But they trade up really well for 30 points.
Yeah.
Whenever I see someone play second infantry, I always see these guys. Always.
I guess with the heat at close range as well, you can trade with medium armor quite well. So there is that as well.
Up north, we saw a couple more planes go down, and Onord grabs that flag on the edge of the hill, making it a 16-8, and things are looking quite dire for Protoss here. He does take out the 105 in one shot with his 203mm, so that was nice.
Yeah, if that can keep picking off these units, then there is a way back into the game for Protoss. Like the investment in like bombers or artillery is often like a really good way to like get value over time. But
the M10 just went down to those Rangers, by the way, just to note that. I don't know why it didn't shoot. That was really weird, actually.
It probably just didn't have line of sight, honestly. Or at least not line of sight, but I mean, as in like no recon.
I guess, but it literally it had its like aiming circle on the whole time and didn't start aiming. It was very strange.
Okay, maybe just
bug. Very odd.
Sometimes there's like depression issues or like aiming issues, particularly if like the tank is still turning while it's trying to aim. And sometimes
I think it was the turning. There's definitely no depression issue there. It's on the top of the hill.
Yeah, it was probably just facing the wrong way then, and then it was just trying to turn the turret.
That would have sent me over the edge, I think.
Well, what will send Protoss over the edge is the double xylophone coming in for Onord with 2 more rhinos on the top side here. That is a lot of points that Onord must have had spare, and he's just like, oh, I'm gonna buy a couple xylophones. Why not?
He's building up quite the orchestra.
Moved into phase C, so both players are going to be going down to 80 points per minute now, which means we're going to be seeing a lot less units coming in off the edge of the field. But at this stage in the game, it looks like Onord has a numerical advantage, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if not numerical advantage, then definitely a position advantage for sure. He's got Protoss off the hill up the top. It's so hard to get back on that hill, or it's going to cost you a lot of troops to get back on that hill. He's made huge progress in the town. If he ends up out of the town, then there's really no way to get back in with that huge open field there, especially with the number of points they have now. It's not looking good.
So we've got 2 203 mils in here. We've got a 155 mil for Protoss. There's obviously the mortar carriers, but one of them went down. Did the one on the top side die as well? Oh no, it's still there.
No, it's still there. It's running out of ammo. I told you, guy loves his arty.
It's a lot of arty. That's more arty than I've ever seen in a 1v1.
Yeah, nope, this guy loves his arty. He uses it so well, and he loves it. I was not exaggerating.
I mean, he is starting to pick apart the...
Oh, it does damage. It's not that. I just don't think he's going to have the time to get what he needs out of it at this point. Like, if he could have had these big guns earlier in the game, I think he could have actually really successfully broke down this southern support, all these weapons down there. But at this point, it's going to be tough, especially with the northern, like, so far down. The Rhino goes down to the 90 mil. That was a big kill. He needed that.
Where was that? On the top?
Yeah, in the town. One of the Rhinos went down to that 90mm.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, the 160 mil penetration there coming through nicely. But yeah, that's what, like I was saying earlier with the artillery and bombers. There's something that you invest into to get points over time over your opponent on the field, and as you said, he didn't really get them in early enough, but then again, the pressure from Onord has been pretty top-notch, so you kind of have to bring in other stuff in order to hold back. Like, you can't really just bring in artillery when you're behind, because then you don't have anything in the front line to push back against whatever's already pushing you. So in this case, the rifles just doing a great job against the converted gunners there, and the Nisei also not having a good time, even though they're 3-star veterancy, but that's mainly due to the mortar fire coming in and helping suppress those squads.
Yeah, and that's, I tell people this all the time. When I'm playing, I run into this a lot with players. They fall behind, you know, and I'm pressuring them or whatever, and the response is to bring in a bomber or something, and I'm like, that's not what you need. You just spent what could have been 3 to 4 infantry squads on a singular bomber that is not going to change the pace of this at all. You need troops on the ground when you're behind to hold the ground, otherwise you're going to keep falling further behind.
I think there are situations, particularly when an opponent is overextended, where like a bomber response is the right response. But like in this situation, probably not, because obviously Onord has bofers.
Well, and you need something to follow it up, though. If you have nothing on the ground to follow up the bombing, then it's not doing
that as
much
well,
anyway.
I guess. Yeah, true. Very true.
Like, if you have, like, a real defensive line and then they're overextended, then yes, absolutely, bomb away. But, like, if you are on the back foot and, like, you don't have really any troops on the ground, don't be calling in bombers and artillery to solve your problems. It's not going to.
So it's amazing how Onord's gained so much ground with these, like, low health infantry squads on the bottom side here. Eventually they get picked off, like the converted gunners there, picking off the rifle. The Ranger LMG at close range will actually probably suffer against the converted gunners from the heavy cover engagements. But still 15-9 in favor of Onord. He's still getting that double tick. 3 minutes 40 seconds till Protoss takes the victory. Oh, sorry, till Onord takes the victory. Yeah,
definitely Onord. If this rifles early does not go down in the town, this is going to be very unfortunate for Protoss, because the town's empty otherwise. This Rhino and this early is all that's there, and it's not easy to reinforce because they don't have many points.
Yeah, most of Onord's reinforcements at the moment still coming into the bottom side. He's really doubling down on controlling these flags in the open. Protoss going to be bringing an M10 to try and do some damage to Onord's M3 howitzer here. Will likely finish it off in the open.
That's a good kill for him.
Yeah, that will allow his infantry to potentially take back some flags in the open, but the double Hellcat on its way from Onord just over the hill.
Nisei rifles coming into the town as well. Hopefully they spot those early rifles and can actually take them out, which will give him back that flag.
Yeah, unless the rifles early catch the Nisei without cover, in which case the rifles early will really, really chip them very, very fast indeed.
Those semi-automatic rifles, they do the damage.
Yeah, the cover disparity is so important, and the xylophone on top.
That's a little overkill.
Does finish off the unit though. The rifle's going to be forced back since they got suppressed by that. But yeah, looks like right now Onord's just kind of sitting pretty on the flags that he's got, and is kind of just waiting for the end of the game right now.
Yeah, and there's not much else to do at this point. There's no reason to overextend yourself anymore. You really have like an overwhelming advantage. I mean, if the game was, if Protoss had 6 or 7 minutes left, I would say his arty might actually start to swing it around for him, because it's picking things off. Like, it's taking out this 105 howitzer. You know, it's such an issue that Onord's calling in some xylophone on it. That's quite a reach there. Oh no! Oh my!
Oh
wow!
The 203 actually gets wiped there. Very nice indeed.
Was surprisingly effective. I think Protoss might be regretting putting his arty so far forward. He could have had it further back.
Yeah, I mean, those xylophones do have some pretty good reach though.
Is it 7,000?
Especially on like a 1v1, that's only like 4,200. But on a 1v1 map, that's still pretty far.
Yeah, I mean, you can reach mode, but like when you get out to the very edge of its range, its spread is usually much more severe. That one, if you look at the clustering, that was some bad luck there.
Yeah, it's like 3 rockets landed all on top of each other.
That was some Vulcan attack power bad luck right there.
Streamer luck, yeah.
Yeah, that's what that was. That's the luck of a guy who's about to post on YouTube.
The rifle's late, doing a number on the converted gunners with help of the M3, but the artillery coming in there, taking out said M3, but it's now back to 16 to 8 is still going to make things difficult. Cavalry scouts pushing onto some rifles really far up in the center, but going to get killed off very quickly by the rifles early there. Unfortunately, really not much Protoss can do. Like, he can keep trying to arty stuff, but he's actually running out of decent targets for his arty. Because usually it would be like the static support weapons like AT guns and support guns and maybe like a tank if it's sat still, but when you've got all of this like infantry running around on attack move orders, like it's kind of hard to hit them.
No, it's useless. It's not. It's relatively useless for that. The xylophones too, Onord's keeping those moving. It's and obviously he's out of time here, and Onord's gonna clinch this game.
Yep, there we have it.
And that'll be that.
Onord with the victory in the first game, 28 minutes, 12 seconds, and 1,890 kills to 1,635 losses. Not as much of a kill disparity as you'd imagine.
No, I do think, I mean, if we hop over to the kills, the KDs here, I mean, there's an M10 tank destroyer that did really well here for Protoss. I want to see his artillery. Yeah, so if you look, the first 203 killed 2 howitzers and a ranger. The 155 killed a Marauder, an M5 gun, a rifles, another howitzer. You know, so his artillery definitely did work. I don't think he got as much out of it as he put into him. But on the flip side, I'm not sure if more troops on the ground would have changed the outcome any versus the artillery.
I think one thing was that I feel like the mortars didn't do as well as they could have done. Particularly the first mortar wasn't really hitting its shots very well, and then when he brought in the second one, having them fire at things individually, I felt kind of like limited their effectiveness. And then the first 203 that he brought in also had troubles finding value early on, so that was also a bit of a problem. In terms of losses, like the rhinos was really nice. Like early on, honestly, Onord didn't really get that many kills until he started bringing in like the M18 there that picked off that 81, that real like big loss of units all at once, like the 81 mil going down. And then the bomber and then the fighter as well, like all in a very quick succession, was actually a kind of, I wouldn't say a turning point because it was already kind of looking a little bit bad for Protoss, but definitely kind of almost sealing the deal, making it very difficult for Protoss in the game.
Yeah, in terms of the KDs, yeah, I think that was the turning point. Yeah, I think, I mean, me personally, when I bring in mortars, I bring them in twos. I find one mortar to just be very anemic. It doesn't have enough of an effect. 2 of them will kill off support weapons from time to time in one salvo, and definitely 2. I would have liked to see him concentrate the fire of those 2 mortars up north, and he could have taken out that Bofors, and then the sky would have opened up to him, and it might have been a different game.
Yeah, the only benefit of bringing in one mortar is generally for like suppression against enemy infantry when you're pushing forwards, but otherwise you're not going to be killing support guns very quickly with a single mortar. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, so tough one for Protoss, but he's got a game 2 to bring it back in, and a good game to Onord, as it always is. Yeah,
fantastic game. All right, we'll leave it there. That is it for now. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to my own and Attack Powers channels, and I guess we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that like button and have a fantastic day.
Goodbye.